Okay, so I just want to make clear some things because a lot of people are getting confused about what I'm posting. So there's been two journalists who have made it their life to try to destroy my lawsuit against the police department in Houston, Texas, and someone, gosh, I mean, I filed a pretty daring lawsuit against the state of Texas, basically. I know the judge in my heart believed me because I just read some things that I didn't even know was going on. And I mean, my case is not closed. It's just the law that I have to file $400 to continue it on. And, going pro se and being robbed and having to move all the time over stalkers and harassers and threats, makes it a little hard. So I'm gonna go to the courthouse today, and I'm gonna file something to the judge, which basically is I'm going to show him basically the hell I'm going through. I'm going to file proof and let him know that, due to circumstantial, nonstop crimes that the police have been covering up that the FBI knows about, I am going to give proof of, what I've done to get justice. And it just strengthens my lawsuit. That's all I can say. I've been really sick, so laying in bed for several days has given me time to think, and I know that when I get frustrated I approach things the wrong way. I posted proof. They've stolen everything to my name. Literally all I have is a suitcase of clothes, and I want people to really understand the magnitude of what it's like to get targeted, because I wouldn't believe it myself. Remember, I was 42 years old when my life completely changed. I had never been robbed before. I had never had precious things stolen before. And even though my home was illegally taken fraudulently, while CPS scammed me, once again, I managed with my church to get, quite a few things out. What people don't understand is, and I'm not saying this to brag, please don't take it that way, but I had a house full of so many things that it would have taken 7 days at least to pack it up, at least. I was evicted on my birthday unlawfully. I represented myself and won, but then Wells Fargo appealed it. And while I was having a medical emergency, they had a hearing without me, and that's how I lost my home, and that's the truth. I went to court, I can't remember, it seems like 4 or 5 times representing myself, and they just lowballed me. But I mean, hey, does that surprise you? I had a beautiful home. You don't believe me? I posted some pictures. So I had one night to get all my stuff out. One night. And the Captain Kiki, said that they would show up at the last person of the day, but they showed up actually first. My house was the first house. Isn't that so convenient? So here I was with all my stuff packed up. Not all of it, of course, but a lot of my most expensive stuff. And they wouldn't even let me kick it out of the house. No joke. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. They're filming me. There's all these cars with black tinted windows. I'm going, what the heck? Is this the FBI? I mean, honestly, the neighbors were freaking out. They wouldn't open the door. I wanted them to film it. They were too scared. So what happened was my church managed to get out several truckloads, and, we did a couple truckloads, but still there was enough to furnish a small house still left behind. They did private auctions. They sold, I mean, no exaggeration, I would say, I mean, it's hard to say because, I didn't sit there with a pen and add everything up. But, I mean, I put something like, what was it, 60,000, was it 68,000 down on my home. And then I lived in it for years, paid my mortgage, on time. And then after they took my daughter, some hardcore scams took place. And that's pretty typical from what I'm hearing. The corruption runs that deep, but I'm not going to get into it. But so what happened was I got a real cute apartment, started over, and you could see if you look at my Facebook how cute the apartment was. Now everything in those pictures except for the couch, okay, and of course my custom Mini Cooper. And I'm only telling this because I literally went from this to homelessness. And so this man, Wilbur Witt Jr., got away with an FBI scam claiming that an Army base was going to help me in Killeen, Texas, talked me into taking my entire storage unit to him, which I'd been paying 200 and I can't remember 230 a month. So you can imagine how much stuff it was, because public storage really isn't that expensive. I take it there. I went to, court, and I won a case against Officer Kenneth Truce, and actually I ended up winning two cases against officers who falsely arrested me. Isn't it funny that the state of Texas still hasn't given my driver's license back, even though it's in the news article that he basically took it fraudulently and got indicted on 2 felonies and now off on good behavior? I mean, how pathetic. That's Texas for you. Anyway, in the nutshell what's going on, because I admit it, it's confusing. I would ask myself too, how does someone lose all this? So Wilbur got away with stealing at least $250,000 worth of my belongings. And a lot of it, by grandma, I'm not going to, sugarcoat this. I mean, I collected really nice things, but my grandma was a very wealthy woman, and throughout her life, she would give me really nice valuables. And so my house was just drop dead gorgeous. I mean, it was full of all kinds of rare antiques and my jewelry collection, because I worked in stores such as Saks and Neiman's, and as a freelance artist for Christian Dior, and I went national with them as well, national makeup artist, and we had like what they called something employer day or employee day. And long story short, you could get, say, like a $2,000 David Yurman bracelet with two discounts. That you could get it for like, oh, I don't know, maybe 150, 200 bucks. Don't hold me to it, okay? Because I can't remember. I just remember I could get things really cheap. So I had really, really expensive things because I worked in that industry since I was like 18 years old, okay? So don't be fooled if you see, if Wilbur's going to say, oh, it isn't true. I mean, I worked in a modeling agency for years. I was a talent scout and everything else. Of course, I wore nice things, but he does these videos now, just complete slanderous with, another journalist named Robert Beatty. And they've made it their mission, like really creepy to, even though they're blocked, to go in my Facebook, take my private things and say shared with permission, which is a total lie. Even the DA's office said that is not true. If they're blocked, they don't have permission. Well, all this was reported to the FBI. They photoshopped my pictures. Whoever, these two creepy, elderly men that have nothing better to do with their last days of life than to terrorize me and Johnny and friends. They go on my private messenger somehow. They make it public, or they, disclose private conversations, something to that effect. And it's really, at first it was just creepy, and then it got to the point where, okay, the police are saying contact the FBI, the FBI's saying contact the police, lawyers are saying, my God, this truly is criminal. And so then they're like, okay, okay, the FBI hasn't done anything yet, and they were notified by email evidence. And my boss was with me, that I was working on the TV show with, as a co-producer, whatever, production assistant, whatever, and also interviewer for homeless veterans. And my first day at work, I was completely stalked and harassed. And I had, of course, 4 witnesses, and still the FBI hasn't done anything. I think I made the report, 5, 6, 7 days ago? I don't know. The site's still up, alive and well on Google, completely terrorizing me. And the thing that I've come to the conclusion with is, people are like, oh, come on, how can this be true? And I don't know how else to put it, that once you're targeted, it's very real. And people know that they can do anything and everything to you because they know the police won't do anything. Can you imagine that world? So, of course, I was like so targeted, because here I had all these really nice things. And I was so, frail from CPS taking my only child in, 2010. And I made the mistake of doing a lot of radio for a while. And then I got so targeted, I went missing for years. And then things. That's how my car was stolen. If you don't believe me, I have a picture of my custom built Mini Cooper convertible that back in my, let's call it Richie days, however you want to word it. I think I remember that from Pretty in Pink, and now I'm showing my age. Wasn't it like He's a Richie? Or no, yeah, I think that was Pretty in Pink. Anyway, the whole point is I lived a very lavish lifestyle, and I have nothing to my name anymore. And the only reason I'm starting to post pictures of my past It's not because I'm trying to live in my past, but I'm tired of people trying to say, well, she can't have her kid. Look what a loser she is. Look at all she's lost. What a bunch of lies. When my daughter was taken, she was living in a very upscale home in a prominent area near the Galleria in Houston. I mean, you couldn't get more hoity-toity than that. It was a gated community. I worked down the street at a modeling agency. She went to private, whatever you call it, school, just very little, because she was able to even come with me to work on occasions. And I agreed not to work full-time because I wanted her to be at home with me and I wanted to take good care of her. And, the whole irony is, now they can say, well, she can't have her daughter because she's like, practically homeless or has been homeless. And I'm going, really? That doesn't have anything to do with it because they took her when she was living a very wealthy lifestyle. Actually, if and clearly happy and very well cared for. But if you go and zoom in on that picture I took, you'll actually see that's a real Raggedy Ann doll on the corner. And even Johnny said, my God, I can't believe you bought her all these presents. She was my only child. I had her late. And I will be honest, I did spoil her probably a little too much, but I didn't know there's a crime in that, right? And yeah, I did get her for her 2-year, I think, was it her birthday or Christmas? I bought her a real Raggedy Ann doll. I got it, and it came with a certificate and everything. And she had a baby Mini Cooper like me. It worked. Of course, it was play, but I mean, it turned on and moved, and she had it all. So don't be fooled by, oh, you see the Amy today and you're thinking, no wonder she lost her daughter. Let's look at my pictures before you go there. No, I was living, my lifestyle was so respected in the community that I actually had fundraisers for politicians and stuff like that. I was like living, I don't even want to get into it. I get too upset, but I'm just getting mad because they're photoshopping my pictures. They're making me look like some kind of demon, with 6 chins and a stomach a mile long and, very, very grossly, overweight. And, I think to myself, okay, why is that cool? Like journalists bullying women. And, it just amazes me that some people are like, cool, dude, that's so awesome. And I'm going, God, what a disgusting reality of where America is today, because the way I am, I wouldn't even look twice at something like that, and I would report it. You think if the FBI didn't have, say, 100 people contact them today that they wouldn't do something, I assure you they'd get nervous. But I think only 5 people have done it now. I don't know. Something like that. So I'm just waiting for someone to go with me today. Basically my plan is to get this submitted with the federal judge, explain why I can't pay the $400 as a new filing fee after I wrote a 33-page motion. I studied the law really off and on for years. Something like a Rule 59, if you know what I'm talking about. And basically, I made it clear that I feared for my life by filing the lawsuit that it's been non-stop retaliations. And I don't know if I supplied the hate sites to the judge yet, but I'm going to print them out. And I'm definitely going to make sure he gets them today. They're also going to go personally to the FBI. I'm not going to do this phone stuff anymore. What a joke. And I'm going to tell them that I want some kind of evidence, proof that I was there, and that they are getting this kind of cyber terrorism in their faces, because every lawyer I spoke to has said this is criminal. And why the FBI isn't doing anything, I don't know. You tell me. So, I'm not going to go alone. So I have maybe 1 or 2 people that are going with me, and I hope they film it. And I don't care if the FBI says we can't, then I'm going to say, well, then I want some definite proof we're here today, because every time y'all have had a phone call, we don't see anything any better. And why is that? When the police are telling me it's your job to do something. So, I'm just going to do things differently. I'm going to just do things so, like, it's dangerous to do this, I'm sure, but what am I supposed to do? Sit back and take all this? People committing felonies against me, people having me go homeless over stealing everything to my name. Do you think you could make in this world if you woke up one day and everything, your clothes, everything is gone? Everything. Everything you need to get dressed. You only have the shirt on your back. That's what Wilbur did to me. Wilbur Witt Jr. And then he's throwing in y'all's faces, well, she's homeless. She's a loser. Now, he did a video saying how the dumb bitch lost her shit. You don't believe me? YouTube it. He goes by Bill the Butcher. And in this video, you see a dumpster allegedly taking my things. I want you to look at the things that were in the storage room, that I have more pictures I'm going to prove, and I'm going to get a sworn statement from the manager from Public Storage that knew we were going there and knew exactly what went in that truck. He does a video of just junk. I mean, there's nothing of any value, and he shows it going in a dumpster truck. And he's like, oh, the dumb, bitch, and, she's just a piece of crap, and he's calling me a whore, and, everything else you can imagine. And all lies, all lies. And I'm going, okay, I've told him do a lie detector test. I'm willing to do it today. He won't do it. He just keeps doing nasty videos, but he sure won't do a lie detector test. So let's get it out there. And I hope Wilbur's, he's watching, by the way, they're watching all my videos, and they're taking them illegally, and they're YouTubing them and all this, and it's driving me nuts. They've YouTubed like 30 of my videos without my permission. And you would think in the real world, that's criminal because we have privacy rights, and they are marked friends only, and a lot of them have been marked where only I could see them, and they still show up on YouTube. So, it's a hard way to live, straight up. It's a hard way to live. If I wasn't as tough as I am, I probably truly would have committed suicide. I'm not wired that way. I've never been suicidal, thank goodness. But the average Joe Blow, I think, probably would have killed himself by now. And what's really creepy is that is truly their intention. Think about it. If you're going to bully a woman all day long, every day, and like she's super stressed out, especially not seeing her only child in, almost 9 years or whatever, you think that isn't basically attempted, it wouldn't be attempted murder by all means, but I don't know. That's actually, I would actually say it kind of should be. You'd have to look at it and see how horrific it is to understand what I'm saying. There is no doubt in my mind that they are trying to get me to kill myself. And I think that should be some kind of, I don't know how a lawyer would fight that, but it's definitely, they want me dead. There's no doubt in my mind that Robert Beatty and Wilbur Witt Jr. want me dead. There's no doubt in my mind that if it was on the news today that I was murdered, that they would actually celebrate. That's how evil these two men are. I'm not joking. You'd have to know the magnitude of how far they're going to try to destroy my life. And believe me, if you Google it and you YouTube it, you'll see how scary this is, and how the police aren't doing anything, how the FBI aren't doing anything. It's beyond me, because every time the police look, they're like, wow, this is criminal, or wow, this is cyber terrorism, you need to call the FBI, or, whatever. But, I didn't know we lived in a world where people can post your address in a threatening way, and you have to keep moving over it, and they take your pictures where you go, these trolls or whatever they are working for them. And I'm going, really? Like, they can just get away with this? And then, and then they're photoshopping, like, some pictures to make me look nude. And the cop was like, ma'am, I can't do a police report on that. It's clearly fake. I'm like, but it's the principle of it. Like, my daughter is almost 10. Of course she's going to think it's real. Well, they don't care. They don't care because I'm suing them. Why should they care about me? And what's scary is that's what they took for granted. They were like, oh, the police hate her, so we can do everything we want to her. We'll get away with it. Oh, it's disgusting. So I got really sick. I do think it's partly from being stalked at work. It was pretty, it wasn't really that it scared me. It was just really traumatizing because it was, one, embarrassing. It was front of the camera guy and, the sound guy, which was Johnny, and my boss, it was very, very traumatic, and it definitely ruined the last interview, so that won't be aired on TV, and it's a national TV show, and obviously no one, you can see me, if he does air it, you can see me looking to my right, looking very scared, and there was a Middle Eastern man pulling down his pants, and I don't know if he was masturbating. I couldn't figure it out, and remember, I'm interviewing a homeless veteran for a national, nationalized TV show that's going to be, I think, aired in March. And then I have a lady just screaming and taking pictures of me and filming me. And, they're on opposite ends. And it was so distracting. So I'm pretty sure that last bit will never be on TV. But, I just can't believe. And the funny thing is, the camera guy and everyone just froze. And he didn't even take, he didn't film it. But we approached them. And they knew my name. They knew Johnny's name. And it was real scary. We did not tell anyone that we were working on that show. And so it was obvious, like, targeted as usual. Scary world I live in. So, someone said, just change your name and just get a job at a retail store and move away. And I almost thought about doing that. And I was like, God, why should I let the bad guys win? That's not what I'm about. I consider myself a righteous warrior, and I don't give up. And I still think I'm going to win. As corny as that sounds, with, well, everything going against me, pretty much. The only thing that may be good is that I got a movie, guy that's following my story very carefully now, who's very interested in doing a screenplay. And then I got another movie guy in Hollywood that said he has some interest. And, if I don't get justice in the courtroom, I've made it clear to the judge or to his assistant, case manager, whatever, that, justice will be served, whether it's in the courtroom or on the big screen or a book. I mean, after all, my book got stolen, and, much like what happened to late Senator Nancy Schaefer, but we won't go there. But they don't like you to expose CPS, that's for darn sure. Anyway, I have a big day today. I just hope people don't chicken out, because I have a couple people that were supposed to go with me, and the more the merrier, the more they can't get away with covering it up. I can't tell you how many police reports I've done, and they don't exist. They just don't exist. And Internal Affairs is like, oh, ma'am, that's just not possible. Once it's in the system forever. What a bunch of baloney. I would say at least 50 reports are missing. I'm going, give me a break. Even Johnny was with me, and that report doesn't exist. Actually, like 4 or 5 reports since I've been with Johnny have just vanished. And then they're trying to tell me. I mean, that is an FBI matter if, the magnitude of police corruption is that high. And it's like, what the heck is going on? I mean, this is just, it's so Twilight Zone that sometimes I just wake up and I think I'm still dreaming. Like, I can't believe that my once wonderful life with my daughter has ended up like this. I mean, I always say fight for justice has turned into a major fight for survival. And it's scary that anyone can just laugh in my face and go, I know the cops aren't going to arrest me. I mean, I've caught crimes live on camera, and they've laughed in my face and said they know the police won't do anything. And they were right. The only thing it got me out of was going to psych wards. They'd be like, you think people have to get out to get you? Yeah, look at this video. Oh, okay. Bye. There to take me wearing a straitjacket. I mean, how scary is that? Gosh. All right, well, I'm not the most chipper. I apologize. I've been really sick, so, I mean, I don't even know what I have. It's the weirdest thing. I mean, it started off as a bad cold, and now it's just severe body ache, no appetite. I mean, severe. Like, I feel like I've been hit by a bus. And I'm so tired, and I never sleep like this. I mean, it's like 2 days I just slept, and I'm still tired. So, I mean, I don't feel like it's the flu, because I don't know, I just don't feel feverish. It's just, I don't know, I never had anything like this, to be honest. It takes a lot to keep me in bed. I mean, Christmas, friends came for Christmas, and, people were popping by, and I felt so rude. I had to send Johnny out, thanks, but I can't get dressed. It was not a very good Christmas. I mean, it was all right. At least people, came by and everything, but I don't know. It definitely wasn't a Christmas to remember for sure. I mean, I haven't really celebrated Christmas since 2009 when my daughter, that was our last Christmas. And anyone can look at the pictures on my Facebook and see how happy and how clearly well taken care of she was. And our beautiful home, but, these people like to say, oh, she's homeless, look at her. And it's like such a joke, because I lived like 20-something years in nice places for my age, always, And then I went from that to staying in kind of dumpy places and hotels and friends. And, there's 2 times I tried to get an apartment. I was illegally evicted, and I still don't have justice for that. And I didn't want to have a paper trail. Every time I had a paper trail, something horrible happened to me. No joke. Anyway. All right, well, gosh, now I'm really nauseated. I might have to lay back down after all. What a bummer. All right, y'all, please stay strong. I don't mean to be like this, but if I can still go on and have faith in God and believe in miracles, then shouldn't you? Because I lost my only child. I lost everything to my name, even my car that she loved, all the knickknacks that, I was going to give her, like collectibles, all the beautiful jewelry I was going to pass down to her. I have nothing to prove who I am to her. Nothing, except for maybe Facebook. And, I mean, really. But, I mean, pictures off Facebook. But I have all thousands of pictures stolen. And the journal that I kept, that was to her, that she was going to read, it's all gone. It is enough to give someone a nervous breakdown. I don't know how I haven't had one. All right. Well, God is the final judge no matter what. That's all I can say. Bye.